Yo, peace and blessings. Enlightening Minds Enterprise, Gerald Hassan D. Childers. Mr. Shift Your Perspective with PAC Representative. Happy Sunday, fun day. So I wanted to speak with you all about this concept that I call victimization or being victimized, right? And it's in reference or in the context of circumstances and relationships, particularly relationships. You know, that was the idea or concept that I really gave a lot of contemplation to over the years. And it's a debate that I have with myself because a lot of times I feel like I can be my strongest debater. And sometimes there's still a place in regards to this whole concept where I still haven't reached a total resolve, so I'm still open and receptive in a lot of ways, in a lot of areas to this whole idea. But I wanted to speak and kind of clarify some things because I've had discussions and I've put posts out in regards to, you know, using that term as a victim. And in the past, I've used it towards people and they've definitely got offended by it because they say they're not a victim. But this is what I want you to understand by definition, because it's real important and significant that we utilize terms and terminology correctly, because for many of us, the English language isn't our mother language, but it is a language that we speak, and some of us are very forced to speak because we don't know another language, right? But with that being said, it isn't our language, so it is even more important for us to master the language and utilize it in the best way when communicating our thoughts and feelings. Otherwise, when you're talking to someone who does know or have a pretty good firm grip of the language, your way of expressing something sometimes can be misleading or misunderstood because of your particular lack of understanding of the language or of the words that you use. Now, I myself, I desire to get that grammar piece more together because that is a very significant aspect of it as well. But that is really why so much is lost during the conversation, because of just the way we express ourselves. But to get into this right here, the term victim, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, means, well, the last one, which is in context of what we're speaking about, is a person cheated, fooled, or injured of circumstance. A person cheated, fooled, or injured. Now, I understand why one would say they're not a victim. But on the other side of it, when you've been fooled, injured, or cheated, or you feel you have been, then according to definition, you are a victim. But here's where I argue, because we have to understand that to be cheated, to be fooled, and to be injured, oftentimes in relationship sense, requires volunteer participation in a relationship sense. At any given time, you've made the choice to move forward, to trust someone, to take their word forward, to trust them with your heart, to trust them with your health. Then it is a choice that you've made to do so, and whatever happens after that, regardless of what a person has said to you, regardless of what a person has done for you, or what has done to so-called prove themselves in the past or at that present moment, it's still your personal decision. And a lot of times when it comes to making decisions about someone in the area or idea of trust, we have to definitely have a proper criteria that we are basing or that we are screening someone by, better yet. Because see, sometimes we can trust people whom haven't given us no right or reason to trust them. So if I just choose to trust someone in all these particular or different areas, then I just chose to do so. And so whatever happens after that, I have to hold myself partially responsible. because I did make that choice to trust you. And sometimes we trust people who haven't given us no reason or right to trust them, who are totally untrustworthy, which is a reason why a lot of times we search and we wonder and we question and we have all this disharmony between us and the person, is because we know that person's actions and words do not align up. So therefore, we find ourselves trying to find the facts to confirm why we don't trust them. But why use so much energy when your inner being is telling you something that is contrary to what your outer being wants you to do? You know, the inner being more of your spiritual, but the outer being more of the flesh. Why would you contend with it? You know, and then when doing so, again, we have to reach a point to where we can hold ourselves responsible, because with holding ourselves responsible, it allows us to free ourselves from the person whom we say victimized us or wronged us. It allows us to free ourselves from that person, and it allows them to be freed from us. And we get to move forward in life with no attachments with that person or with that experience in such way, you know, to where we don't bring all that unhealthy energy into a new experience. Because when we go into a new experience, making someone prove themselves first not to be everything that I don't want you to be before they even get a chance to prove that they are who they say they are, is very unfair, and that can be very draining. And for a number of us, me included, I'm not going to waste that kind of energy. But I have been there before. I have been one to drain myself trying to prove a person isn't trustworthy. You know, and even after here's a killer part. Even after a lot of us find out the person and prove the person not trustworthy, we'll still move forward with the person, thinking that all of a sudden that they become trustworthy just because they cried and said, "I'm sorry, I apologize," this, that, and other. You know, I'm sorry, I had to reject this call. But one thing I do want us to understand is that to be a victim is to put ourselves in a position where we say we didn't play no part in what happened, basically. You know, it's like I'm free from any error or wrongdoing. And see, sometimes the wrongdoing is simply choosing to move forward with someone whom we aren't truly compatible with. See, the chemistry sometimes isn't right. And when the chemistry isn't right between you and a person, me and a person, then a lot of times we can't bring out the best in each other, you know, have the best times with each other. Because, I mean, it's just something about our togetherness or whatever just doesn't do it. And that's why we got to always stay truthful to ourselves and truthful to what makes us happy. Because if you can remain true to what makes you happy, and if you can stay away from what you know you don't want, then a lot of times that alone will connect you to that which you want and need, because you're staying true and committed to your happiness, as well as being honest with what you know is not going to work for you. You're not going to compromise with that. You know, I have a big thing about inconsideration. You know, I'm not going to say a person is inconsiderate. That means that they've become the embodiment of that terminology or idea. I'm just going to say that a person can be inconsiderate, though, and basically do inconsiderate things. And sometimes when that happens too consistently, and really it can happen once or twice, but if the person gets all bent out of shape as though I'm tripping, and they're not trying to be receptive to being receptive to understanding why I feel that they was being inconsiderate. But all they want to do is prove to me that they wasn't inconsiderate. And really, they probably more so talking about their intent, but I'm talking about the action. It's an inconsiderate act because it lacked consideration. And so for me, I can be done with the whole process, you know, but again, man, we have to understand that You know, like let's say like being in con. Let me tell you one of the rules of conning. Like really, like in the art of real con. I've never been a con artist, not I guess per se anyway. But one thing I will say is that I've studied it. You know, because in my younger years, I've been in so many different situations where not only do I want to be able to peep game when it's in my face, but I think I've even utilized it to some degree or another, you know, in my younger years of being very selfish. So with that being said, though, one of the rules of being a con artist is that a person has to have some level of intelligence. You can't con a person who is like totally ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like a person like might be retarded or whatever. You can't con a person like that. You have to have someone who thinks they know what's going on. They think they figured out something. They have some conclusion of what's happening. And see, the thing about conning is that you still play, you have to be willingly participant. You know, you have to, and a willing participant reaches the point to where they think they're finna get something for nothing. See, every person that is conned under that principle. They thinking they finna get something for nothing. And they get engulfed in that cloud, in that smoke, you know, in that smoke screen. And by the time they make their way through it all and can see clearly, it's a wrap. The con artist is gone. The damage is done. You know, and I've even read books where they had the money, they had what they wanted, but the con hadn't been completely played out. And because they are artists, some of them take it very seriously. It needed to be done a certain kind of way because there's an art to it. But with that being said, I hope you understand that a lot of times, man, we do ourselves a disservice when we totally put all the power in him or her for being the reason why we felt betrayed, disappointed, hurt, heartache, or whatever. We have to take responsibility, because only in taking responsibility do we take power back, and do we attain power that makes us and enables us to move forward in a way to where we can begin to rebuild from that mistake. Because a mistake ain't nothing but an experience that allows us to be in a better position to make better choices. That's it. It's like you starting your own business and the business fail. It isn't a bad thing, because at least you started. At least you wasn't afraid. See, you can't be afraid to love. When you go into the relationship, you can't be afraid to be vulnerable. But you do have to make sure you don't go into it ignorantly, you know, just blindfolded. You know, you have to have something to stand on, or as they say, we'll fall for anything. So again, man, my main point is to take back your power. That's the only way you're going to be powerful enough to really reach a real pure healing from that experience. But you have to claim responsibility into it some kind of way. And if any of you have any kind of questions in regards to some experience you want to work your way out of, and you don't know how to get past it because it's destroying your future and your happiness, man, get at me and let me know. Ask me what you want to ask me, and I'm going to give you my best answer to it. Again, my name is Gerald Hassan D. Childers. I'm a student of life, and I study social dynamics. By nature, it is a part of my calling. I believe it's my life purpose. So I'm going to give you my best answer. But do it mean I know everything? No. But I do have a strong perspective, and I'm going to give that to you freely, man. Gerald Hassan D. Childers, Enlightening Minds Enterprise. Peace and blessings.